2 needles, about 3.5 feet of thread, and we're going to start with a SuperDuo. Now take both of your needles in like that through each of your holes in your SuperDuo. Hold on to your SuperDuo while you pull, because you want to get equal amounts of thread coming out through each hole of your SuperDuo. Now from here, the easiest thing, well, let me show you. 2 11-0s, a 6mm bicone, 2 11-0s, and another SuperDuo. Okay, so that's what I have on one needle. On my other needle, it's going to be 2 11-0s. I'm going to share this bicone, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to be sharing our bicone. Pulled it, and now I'm going to do 2 11-0s, and we're also going to share the SuperDuo since they have 2 holes in them. So this is our first step. And if it gets all twisty like that, see how mine got all twisty? That's fine. We're going to fix all that anyway. So now a quicker way to do this is to just do 1 needle at a time. So 2 11-0s, bicone, 2 11-0s, pick up a SuperDuo. 2 11-0s, bicone, 2 11-0s, and a SuperDuo. I'm going to let those drop. 2 11-0s, bicone, 2 11-0s, and SuperDuo. One more time, 2 11-0s, 6mm bicone, 2 11-0s, and SuperDuo. Okay, so I already have a few on here. I know for my wrists, I'm going to do 13 bicones. So I'm going to go ahead and catch up with my other needle just to show you. Coming out of a SuperDuo, I'm going to do 2 11-0s, sharing my bicone, then 2 more 11-0s through the other hole of my SuperDuo. Now this thing is going to flip. It's going to be flipping out on you the whole way through. That's fine. It's not going to matter. We're going to fix all of that. So 2 11-0s, sharing the bicone. And you can pull on the other thread too to keep it, you know, neater. Coming out of my bicone, 2 11-0s, and going through the SuperDuo. Now remember, you're going in through your bicone in the same direction as your other thread. You're not crossing through it. So just remember that. In the same direction. Coming out of my SuperDuo, 2 11-0s, sharing my bicone, 2 11-0s, other hole of my SuperDuo. So this step might drive some of you crazy that are like addicted to neatness. It's hard. But like I said, we're going to fix that, so all this twistiness is not going to hurt your project. You can try to keep it as neat as you want, but you're probably going to get frustrated. So this is our first step. All the way through, as I said, I know for my wrist I'm going to need a total of 13 bicones, and so you'll probably need anywhere between 13 to 16 bicones depending on your wrist and also the clasp you're going to use. So do this all the way, and then I will show you what to do next. So I already finished adding all of my little unit here with all 13. As I said, I'm going to need 13 for my wrist. 13 6mm bicones along with my 11-0s and my SuperDuos. Now you will end at a SuperDuo just like this. So now what you're going to do is your thread and needle on this side is going to go in through this side. And you can go ahead and come out both of your 11-Os. And then on this side, one coming out here is going to go hop on over to the other hole and go to my other one. Okay, now here what you want to do, you have to end up going through, what you're going to end up having to go through are, oh, it's kind of dark. You're going to have to go through your 2 11-Os here, your bicone, and then 1 11-O here. And pull tight. And then on this side I stayed here before the bicone. I'm going to go ahead and bring my needle and thread through my bicone and through one of my 11-Os. And this will get me ready to do my next step. So I'm coming out. Okay, let me work this way so you can see what I did. I was coming out of my SuperDuo. My needle on my right hand is going to go in down the hole through the right side. The needle and thread on the right side is going to go down the hole on the left side. And you're going to sew down these 2 11-Os, your bicone, and you're going to come out of 1 11-O after your bicone. So I'm ready to do my next step, which is you're going to do 3 15-Os, an 8-O, 3 15-Os. Coming out of this 11-O, I'm going to go through the 11-O right above the bicone, and I'm going to go down the bicone, down my 2 11-Os after it, and then I'm going to go down my SuperDuo, and I'm going to get in place to do my next one. So coming out of my SuperDuo, I'm going to sew down these 2 11-Os, down my bicone, down 1 11-O after my bicone. So now I'm in place to add my seed beads on the side. So it's going to be 3 15-Os, an 8-O, 3 15-Os, and I'm going to come around, go through this 11-O right above the bicone. So we're circling around, and then down the bicone, and then now you can go down these 2 11-Os. If you can't catch them both, that's fine. Just do them one at a time. So this is all your second step is, and I'm gonna go ahead and do this side. Try not to get too far ahead on one side, so you can keep your tension the same. So on this side, I'm coming out of my 11-O there. I'm going to do 3 15-Os, an 8-O, and 3 15-Os. Coming out of this 11-O, I'm going to go through that 11-O right above my bicone. And down my bicone. And then I'm going to go down the 2 11-Os after it. And then I'm going to sew all the way down, going through everything until I get, I'm going to sew, well, I'll just sew it right now. I'm going to go through the SuperDuo, these 2 11-Os after my SuperDuo. And then I'm here at my bicone. I'm going to go through my bicone and only 1 11-O after my bicone so that you can get in place to add your 15-Os and your 8-O. Okay, so go ahead and do this all the way down your bracelet. So I already added all of my 15Os and my 8O seed beads on the side. And at this point, if you like it the way it is, you can stop and then just add a little clasp, and you would have just a little dainty bracelet like that. But if you want something a little bit more bold, then go ahead and continue with me. So what you would need to do now is make another one like this. Make another one just like this, and then we're going to join them together. So I'm putting both pieces of my bracelet together, and you need to get, now for this you don't need 2 needles anymore. You can just do this with 1. So you can go ahead and get another piece of thread on 1 needle. And I already did part of it over here because I couldn't remember how to do it. So I have that done, but that's okay. I have my needle threaded, and I went through my SuperDuo. And here's a little tail, and here's the rest of my thread attached to my needle. I'm going to pick up 2 11Os. I'm going to go through this loop. Hold on, let me make sure on that. I'm going to go through. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go through, sorry about that, this loop, and then I'm going to come down, and then I'm going to go through my 2 11Os and pull. Pull. And I'm going to go through my SuperDuo. My SuperDuo here. Again, I'm going to go down. And I'm going to try not to catch that 11O after it, because I just want to go through this hole. If I do, I can always just sew back out. But I'm going to go back down the SuperDuo. Then I'm going to go up the other side of my SuperDuo, because I want to reinforce everything. So I'm going to go through the other side. Now here I'm going to add 2 more 15Os. And then I'm just going to go up these 11Os again. I'm going to go through the loop. Just covering that. I'm going to go through these 11Os. Through the loop and down these 11Os again. This is a needle bending project, by the way. Okay, so I'm just going to pull tight. So that part of my clasp is on. Now from here, I'm going to go down my SuperDuo again. Okay, down my SuperDuo again. And then this time I can catch the 11O after it. So I'm coming out of there, and I'm just going to cut. I'm going to go through my 3 15Os, and I'm going to come out of my 8Os, because now I want to go to the other side of my bracelet and put in the other part of my clasp. So coming out of my 8O, I'm going to add an 11O, then I'm going to go up this 8O. Wait, let me do this. Then I'm going to go up this 8O and up the 15Os. And then I'm just going to sew all the way up this 15-0 here, and then I'm just going to go straight up this 11-0 and this SuperDuo. And then I'm going to attach this part of my clasp to this other strand. So I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s again. Now keep in mind, if you don't use this kind of a clasp, or if you want to use 2 cup buttons, you can do that. You don't have to use this kind of a clasp. You can use whatever kind of clasp you want, and that will make this part, you know, maybe easier, or, you know, not as it's not complicated, but when you're trying to explain it, it can be. Okay, so I just did the same thing. I added the 11-0s, went through my loop, so I've attached it. Now I'm going to, coming out of my SuperDuo on the bottom, I'm going to hop back over this way, and I'm going to add 2 15-0s on the side. 2 15-0s on the side. Then I'm going to sew up these 11-0s. Sewing up the 11-0s. Going through my loop. Going back down my 11-0s and down my SuperDuo after that. So now I'm going to go down my SuperDuo, and now I'm going to sew back to my 8-0s so I can continue finishing off this bracelet. So I just flipped it around, coming out of my SuperDuo. I'm going to go ahead and go through the 11-0s after it. From here on out, I'm going to follow my thread paths. I kind of cheated a bit to add my clasp, but from here on out, we're going to go through our thread paths. So, going to go through these 11-0s that I haven't had a hard time going in through till now. Okay. And now I'm going to go through my crystal and out your first 11-0. Out through your first 11-0. From here, go up your 3 15-0s, your 8-0, and now we're back here in this section here. Let me put this down so you can see it better. Now we're coming out of this 8-0 here. We're going to add an 11-0, go down this 8-0 here, and only catch the 8-0. And for the rest of, now the reason this already has an 11-0, we had to add it so we could cross over to this side. From here on out, we're going to follow our thread paths, and I'll show you in a bit, sewing down and coming out of our 8-0s, adding an 11-0, going through the 8-0, adding another 11-0, and going around like that. So I'm coming out of this 8-0, I'm going to go in through this 11-0, out of this 8-0, and I do want to have more than one thread connecting these. So I'm going to go through that again, so I put another thread in there. I'm going to go through this 8-0 here, the 11-0, the 8-0, and from here now I'm done with this. So I'm going to climb up these 3 15-0s, and then I'm going to go through the 11-0 that's close, that's right next to my bicone, and then I'm going to go through my bicone, and these 11-0s here at the clasp might look kind of weird because we've gone through them a lot of times, but that's okay. Out of my bicone, go through my 2 11-0s here, down my SuperDuo, so down my SuperDuo, And then I'm going to go through both of my 11-Os. I'm coming out of one. I need to go in through the other one. And I need to be coming out of the first 11-O after my bicone. So I'm at the 11-Os before my bicone. I'm going to go through my bicone and go through, come out through the one right after my bicone. Now from here, I'm going to go back up through these 15-Os and out through my 8-O. So out through my 8-O, put it down so you can see it better. I'm coming out of my 8-O here, and I'm going to need a piece of thread soon. Out of my 8-O, I'm going to pick up an 11-O. I'm going to go through the 8-O directly across and only that. I'm coming down out there, out of my 8-O only. I'm going to pick up another 11-O. I'm going to go back through this 8-O. And then I'm going to sew again through this 11-O, through the 8-O, only the 8-O, only the 8-O, through this 11-O, through this 8-O, and since I already have 2 strings through there, from the 8-O here now, I'm going to go up these 15-Os next to right above it, up through these 15-Os, and then once I'm coming out of those 15-Os, I'm right by that 11-O that's closest to my bicone, so I'm going to go through it, through my bicone, and now I need to sew. Coming out of my bicone, I'm going to have to sew out of my bicone. I'm going to sew through these 2 11-Os, the SuperDuo, the 11-Os, the bicone, through 1 11-O, up these 15-Os, through this 8-O, and then we're going to add our 11-Os in there again. Once you have 2 strings and you've gone in there a couple of times, you're coming out of your 8-O, go back up these 15-Os, through the 11-O by the bicone and down. And keep doing that until you've added all of your 11-Os, and then you can add the other part of your clasp. So let's just do that one more time. Coming out of my bicone, through the 11-Os, through the SuperDuo, and then through the 2 11-Os, down your bicone, they'll come out of the one right after it, so you can get in position to add your 11-Os here. So since you're coming out of this one, go up these 15-Os and through the 8-O, pick up an 11-O, go through the 8-O across, pick up another 11-O, go through this 8-O here again, and then sew through all of that one more time. When you go completely around again and you're coming out of your 8-O again, go through these 15-Os, through the 11-O by your bicone and down, and then just do this all over again until you're done, and then add your clasp. I'm all done, and you should have something similar, and this is how your bracelet will look when you're all done. Once you've connected both of your bracelets together. Now, as I said, you can just leave it as one and just have one little simple dainty bracelet, or make it really long and do it as a wrap, or you can do it like how I did for this tutorial. And I miscounted, and this is going to be too big for me, so I think on the next one I will stick to, I always have a hard time with clasps, no matter what kind of clasps they're, except if they're buttons. Okay, so it's a little bit too big for me. I might still wear it, I don't know, or maybe I'll just make another one. But this is how it looks on. And it looks really pretty, really shiny. I really like the color of these crystals. They're so pretty, and I like the color of these 15-0s. I think they look so pretty together, along with those matte galvanized gold Miyuki 11-0s. And so this is how it looks on. And I can't take it off. But anyway, this is what you should have, or something similar. I hope you enjoyed making this, and thank you very much for watching.